G'day, welcome to the video. Today we're going to have a look at Johnny Cash's version of the song Hurt.
I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I'll focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. The needle tears a hole, the old familiar sting. Try to kill it all away, but I remember everything. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end. If you could have it all, my empire of dirt, I would let you down. I would make you hurt.
Now, just in case you didn't know, Johnny Cash didn't actually write this song. It was actually written originally by 9 Inch Nails, and I think it was released as a single in 1995. But for me, Johnny Cash's version is still king. Now, this song utilizes 2 chord progressions, the first one for the intro and the verses, and then the second one for the chorus. Now, our introduction only uses 3 chords, a A minor, a C, and a D. Now, the picking pattern for this song is sort of a version of a bass note strum, but what we're doing, for example, on the A minor chord, we're going to hit the open A string, followed by the D string, and then we're going to strum the remaining high strings. And for A minor, that's basically going to take the space of 1 full bar. When we get to our C chord, once again, we're going to use the exact same pattern that we did for A minor. Obviously, we're holding a C chord down, and this time it's only going to last for 2 beats. So we're going to go... That's basically playing that C note, which is the root note of the C chord, which is on the A string, followed by the D string, then strumming those extra high strings. Last one is our D chord, and for this one we're going to start on the open D string, which is once again the tonic of D. We're going to follow that up with the G string and then strum the remaining 2 high strings. If we put it together, it should sound like this. Now, if you want to add a little bit more authenticity to this, all you have to do is on the C chord and the D chord, after we do that little strum of the high strings, go back and re-pick the root note. So the C chord will be like this, and the D chord will be like this. Now, once we have that sequence down, we're literally going to play it 2 times for the introduction and then 8 times for your verses. Now, next up is our chorus, and for the chorus we're going to spice things up a little bit by using some slightly unconventional chord shapes. Now, the chorus progression starts off with a G chord, and in this case I'm going to be playing a G sus4 chord. Sounds like this. Now, to play it, I'm going to put my pinky on the 3rd fret of the high E string, my index finger on the 1st fret of the B string, and my ring finger is going to be on the 3rd fret of the low E string. The A string will be muted by the underside of my ring finger. After our G chord, we're going to be playing an A minor 7. Now, once again for this one, our pinky is going to be in the same space as it was for our G sus4 chord, so 3rd fret of the high E string, and our index finger will also be in the same place, so 1st fret of the B string. And this time we're just going to place our middle finger onto the 2nd fret of the D string. We're going to mute that low E string with your thumb, or just try not to hit it. It'll sound like this. Next up is our F chord, and for those of you who hear that dreaded name and freak out, don't worry, this one's actually a bit easier than a standard F because we're actually going to play an F add 9 chord. Now for this little chord shape, once again, our pinky is going to stay where it was for the previous two chords, so on the 3rd fret of the high E string. Then our index finger will also be in the same space, so 1st fret on the B string, our middle finger will be on the 2nd fret of the G string, and our ring finger on the 3rd fret of the D string. Once again, avoid the low E and A strings, and it will sound like this. Last chord of the sequence is our C chord, and as you probably guessed, we're going to leave our pinky and our index finger where they are, and we're literally going to put our middle finger up onto the 2nd fret of the D string, so 1 string lower, and then our ring finger onto the 3rd fret of the A string, which is 1 string lower. It'll sound like this. Now just for a little bit of theory, in case you're getting confused with the terminology of lower and higher, when it comes to guitar playing, when we talk about the low strings, we're talking about the lower sounding strings, and we talk about the high strings, we're talking about the higher sounding strings. So those definitions or terms are not in relation to whether the string's close to the ground or closer to the ceiling. It's always to do with pitch. Now that we know what chords we're going to be using for the chorus, the pattern is simply 1 bar of each of those chords. So a bar of G sus4, a bar of A minor 7, a bar of F, and a bar of C. Now, as far as the rhythm pattern goes, there's a few different ways we can tackle this. The simplest way, which works pretty well, is literally just to use a downstroke on each downbeat. So we could play like this. That's going to be nice and effective, and it'll work. You might want to build that up a little bit though, so when you want to build it up, we can go to more of an 8th note strumming style, a little bit like this one here. So. And the last thing that you could try is if you want to try and cop the feel of the piano in this, because the choruses are pretty heavily piano driven. We can do a variation on the typical country pick strum sort of rhythm pattern, but we reverse it. So in this case, we strum first, followed by picking the bass note of the chord on the upbeat. So if we did that, it'll sound a little bit like this. Now that we've got our chorus pattern down, we simply play it 4 times for the choruses, and then once we've gotten through that chorus, we just go straight back to the beginning and play through the song again. So that's 2 times through our intro chord progression, another 8 times through the verse chord progression, which obviously they're both the same, and then another 4 times through that chorus chord progression. Now there is an extra tag on the end of the chorus, and in this case we're just playing that same chord progression that we do for the chorus another 2 times. Now on the last C chord, we simply play a diamond. And we just let it ring out for a full bar or 4 beats. Congratulations, you've just learned how to play Johnny Cash's version of the tune Hurt. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you've had fun learning the song, let me know down below in the comments. One last thing before we go, if you haven't already, hit subscribe, smash the like button, and ring the bell so you know when the next video is out. But until next time, cheers!